books and
Yes.
responsibility, and going to the library and checking out books, and even at in the 3rd grade, you think that you can encourage young people your age to become involved in the celebration. We've got about 5 minutes, and involved in the celebration of this.
I can't make them understand, because even though I'm smart, I can make them think like an 8-year-old, because most of them are not, and I can make them think like a kid because I am a kid. I may know things that maybe a 13-year-old would know, but I still can make them think like a child because I am one. Because I have the brain of a child, but I have the knowledge of somebody very older.
And so you think that through that you can tell them, and that's what we want you to do by telling me what you're going to tell them, that you can tell them that they ought to get ready to celebrate this 150th year anniversary. Not celebrate, they say not to say celebrate, but to commemorate this 150th year anniversary of the war between the North and the South, that in a real sense gave Africans their freedom with the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, the 14th Amendment, their citizenship rights, and the right to vote with the 15th Amendment. You think you can express that to them?
Yes. Well, most of my kids are into arts and crafts, so I'll say, hey, y'all, can y'all make a poster of the sesquicentennial, the 150th anniversary of the Civil War? And they be like, give me a couple facts and I can make it happen. I'll send them in some pictures, you know, give them some information, write them down some cards, and you know, they can make a heck out of a couple facts and some cards. They can make the greatest poster you have ever seen, because once we made posters on animals that we picked. I picked the coyote leopard, somebody picked the American alligator, you know, the meerkat, the monkey, but yeah, they are into arts and crafts, so I can have them like make a poster and hang it outside that says sesquicentennial.
Okay, and so you think that as Tennessee prepares to celebrate over the next 5 years, I mean next 4 years, I think up until 2015, from now until 2015, that Tennessee is prepared to celebrate in the state of Tennessee to celebrate the commemoration of this great event, and that many activities took place in the state of Tennessee. You think you can get that across to them as well?
Yes, I can, because you know I can get it across them because I know the words that will make them think like an 8-year-old, but I have the knowledge of somebody older, as I recently said.
And so let me, as we get ready to wind this down, Alana, let me see if we might be able to sort of summarize what we are trying to accomplish here, because you represent what we consider to be the young person in a whole series that we're trying to create dealing with the commemoration of this great event. And we want young people to know more about the commemoration. And we feel that if you can deal with the young people and talk to the young people in reference to it, as you're doing now, they will say to themselves, well, you know that she's only 8 years old and she knows something about what happened, and so I can do the same.
I can like go to class and say, hey Trinity, do you want to know about the sesquicentennial? And she'll probably say, oh yeah, let's learn about it. And I'll tell her about Harriet Tubman and what Bowser and Vestry did. And, you know, I'll explain to her, and then she can tell her friends and stuff like that. But, yeah, I can really get them to understand that, because it means a lot to me for them to understand that, because them being 8 years old and understanding like that, by the time they're 13, they'll be understanding physics. It strengthens me to know that all the kids have the opportunity to learn about all the good stuff that comes with learning.
Very good. Alana, we've got about a minute. Let me, over this last minute, thank you for coming by and giving us that excellent information. And I think that even though we might have in some instances stumbled through it together, I think that the idea here was to simply give our audience an opportunity, and give your young people an opportunity to know that this is something that a commemoration that's important to all ages. And I think that when we go down to the year olds, it also indicates that all ages really mean all ages, because if your group understand more about the events leading up to this commemoration, then certainly the older individuals and older children will also know. And I think that we can say that Tennessee will have a successful commemoration of this great event.